Hello and welcome to the overview video of LoadComplete. LoadComplete is a powerful tool for creating and running automated load tests of web servers and services. It offers a variety of sophisticated features that help you perform load, stress, and scalability testing of web servers. LoadComplete enables you to record traffic between your computer and the tested web server, verify that recorded traffic, parameterize scenarios for different users, create load tests easily, simulate virtual users on multiple workstations, monitor server performance metrics, and it also provides you with detailed reports and graphs which can be examined interactively or exported as HTML or PDFs. Let's take a look at LoadComplete's capabilities in more detail. Now the first thing we need to do is record the traffic that we want to use in our load test. And the way to do that is by clicking this Record New User Scenario button. That's going to bring up this Record User Scenario dialog. In here what you can do is specify the name of the scenario, we can give the name of the load test to be recorded, we can specify a browser, and we can also specify the URL that's going to be opened when the testing starts. So what I'm going to do is just fill in my URL right here, which is localhost/loadcomplete, and now I'm going to click the Record button. LoadComplete will then launch the specified browser and open the target page. And now we can work with our tested web server as normal. So LoadComplete's going to record all the requests that get sent from our browser to the server, as well as the server's responses. And then it saves all that traffic in the form of a scenario. So let's record some actions on the web server here. So I'm going to log in as tester with a password of test. We'll log in. On this next page, we're going to click View All Products, and that's everything I want to do for right now. I'm going to click Log Out, and then I'm going to stop recording. After your scenario is recorded, you can view it in the Scenario Editor. Here you can explore and change the recorded requests and responses. All the requests are grouped by pages for convenience's sake. And then for each request in the request tree, you can view the header and parameters. This Response tab displays the properties and contents of the response received from the tested web server for each given request. Here you can also specify regular expressions that LoadComplete will use to extract from the response contents. That extracted data can be used to parameterize the subsequent requests sent to the tested server. Now the general page contains the properties of the selected request. It enables you to mark the request as a synchronization point for virtual users. When the test engine encounters such a request during the test execution, it will pause the virtual simulation until all other virtual users that are running this scenario reach this request. Here you can also specify custom response codes and a specific reaction to them. For example, you can specify that the test engine treats a 302, which is a page found message, as successful for the request. And the way we can do that is just right-click, select New Item, enter in 302, and you can see we'll treat that as an OK. This allows you to easily configure your scenarios so that it matches the specifics of your application. Using the Scenario Editor, you can also change the target server right here. You can modify request think time, you can change the order of requests in the scenarios, and perform other tasks. Now, after you've created your scenario, it's a good practice to verify that it works properly before you try and create load tests. So to make sure of that, what you need to do is just right-click on the scenario and select Verify Scenario. At this point, LoadComplete's going to run the scenario for one virtual user, and it's going to simulate the requests in the stored scenario and compare the server's actual response codes against the ones that were recorded. If the actual responses match the recorded responses, then LoadComplete considers the scenario executed successfully. After you ensure that the scenario works as expected, you can create a load test that will use this scenario. And then you can either create a load test from scratch, or you can start working with the one that LoadComplete created during recording. You can see right here, LoadComplete has already created a test for me and added it to my test collection. It's right here, it's test 2. And this test contains just that single virtual user. But we can modify that and change it to use more virtual users. So for example, we can put in 5 virtual users for this guy, and we can also have additional scenarios run at the same time. I can say New Item, let's say I want 3 virtual users to run a different scenario, say run scenario 1. We can also specify names for the groups of our users. So for example, my users who were purchasing products, I may call those the purchasers. And the users who are just browsing the site. I could call them browsers. So you can give your virtual users more descriptive names so you know exactly what they were doing during the course of your load tests. You can also specify additional settings to make your load tests more realistic. For example, for each set of virtual users, you can specify the computer that they're going to be run on, the browser in which they'll emulate, their connection speed, and a start delay. Down here in the test editor, you can also select the mode in which the test will simulate virtual users. If you choose the steady load option, the load will start all the virtual users, which are defined in the test, concurrently. If you choose stepwise, then the test will emulate a stepped load increase. It will start with a certain number of virtual users and then append more virtual users during the specified time interval. So here we're going to add one virtual user every 1 second. The custom shape option allows you to visually specify the desired workload. So we could just actually draw in how we want our load to be generated, like according to this wavy pattern, for example. LoadComplete also provides you with this continuous load option, which allows you to perform a load test for a predefined period of time. If this option is enabled, LoadComplete will repeatedly execute the given load test until the specified time elapses. So we're going to run this test for 2 minutes. The random think time page allows you to set random think time between the recorded requests. This helps you emulate user behavior that's closer to a real-world situation. To activate this option, just click Enable and then specify the range of possible time values. Now there's one more tab here in the Load Test Editor. That's the Quality of Service tab. This page lets you set success criteria for the test. The page load threshold time specifies the upper bound of time that can be spent on downloading a tested web page for the current test. So basically this means how long does it take for this page to load, and if it's greater than the specified value, we're going to post an error to the test log. The max response time threshold setting lets you specify the upper bound of time that can be spent transferring server responses to the current test. If the actual response transfer time exceeds the specified value, again, LoadComplete will post an error message to the log. And if you disable these settings, then LoadComplete will not care about how long your pages take to load or how long it takes the server to respond to them. After the test is configured, you can run it. But before you do that, you should specify what server metrics you want to measure during test execution. So what we're going to do is switch to the Runtime Graphs page of the Load Testing Editor. So I'm just going to click on the Load Testing page up here, and we're on Runtime Graphs. There we go. Currently, this page displays graphs and charts for various performance metrics of the tested server that were monitored during the scenario's verification. LoadComplete also retrieves these characteristics during test execution, and this feature lets you easily see how well the tested server is handling the load that's being placed on it. So on this page, you can monitor the metrics of one server or of several servers. For instance, you could monitor the characteristics of your web server and your SQL server. And you can use one or several graphs simultaneously. You can see right here, I can view 4 panes simultaneously if I'd like. Now each graph can display the values of certain counters. And you can choose from predefined counter sets like what we have right here, or you can manually enable a desired counter by clicking on this button right here. Currently, LoadComplete supports 14 client-side performance counters and 4 predefined server counters. Additionally, you can monitor various other counters provided by the tested web servers. Just press this counters button here and then click Add. And this will allow you to add additional counters to the Runtime Graphs page that will be added right alongside these standard counters. So we can choose performance counters from both Windows and Unix-based hosts as well as from Apache servers. So I can choose here this web service counter right here, and let's say I want to pull in the total bytes sent. So I can just select that, click Next, give that a color, and then this will be displayed right in line with the rest of our statistics. There are about 1,000 counters available for the monitoring of Windows-based servers alone, and you can use any of these counters to learn more about your server's health during a load test. After you've set up the desired counters, you can run the test. So to do that, I'm just going to switch back to the Load Testing Editor, and then I'm going to click the Run This Load Test button. And now you can watch how LoadComplete plots the measured characteristics on the graph in real time. Okay, I've fast forwarded a bit, and after the test finishes, LoadComplete generates full detailed results and displays them here on several panels. The report panel consists of several tabbed pages that provide you with graphical views of the load test's results. Using these pages, you can get general information on the test run, view diagrams that represent the results of loading pages and page resources, and you can get information on the requests that were simulated during the test run. You can view diagrams for various characteristics of traffic simulation, such as page load time and time to first byte. You can also view request and response throughput for your overall load test scenario. And you can view a list of the slowest performing pages. Now, this messages panel contains messages that were sent to the log during the load test run. These can be errors and warning messages informing you that LoadComplete was unable to simulate some connections or requests. And you can see those. We'll scroll through here. You can see right here, this request was unable to be completed. To determine the cause of an error or warning, use these request and response headers. These will allow you to compare the actual requests and responses against the recorded ones. Thanks for watching. You can find more information on LoadComplete by visiting our website at SmartBear.com. We wish you luck and hope you enjoy load testing your applications with LoadComplete.